Welcome back to The Price of Business. I am your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. One of my favorite companies out there is a company called Outskirts Press. OutskirtsPress.com. That's skirts, there's a plurality there, .com. Really innovative site, making opportunities for great writers to be seen, and always love what they do. And I've now interviewed a couple of the folks from there, and getting to do another interview today with Shelby Lee. He's the author of the book All Points North. According to, I've seen in his bio, considers himself a survival in the key of life. A Southerner living in the South, he is inspired by the literature of William Faulkner and the South. You know what? I'm a Southern lover myself. In fact, I just recently read a book called The Politically Incorrect Guide to the South and How It Will Rise Again. I don't know if you ever read that book, but it made me proud of the fact that although I grew up in Michigan, I got down south as quickly as I humanly possibly could.
Hello, Kevin.
Yeah, glad to have you on the program. So let me ask you, Shelby, tell me about the book All Points North.
Well, the book is 13 short stories that I wrote beginning in early 2002.
And the book itself tells a little bit about the short stories.
Well, about the short stories, well, some are comical, some are serious, and it was just the beginning of my writing career.
Okay. And how long have you been writing?
Well, I just started writing fiction in early 2002.
Okay. And is this your first book?
Yes.
Okay. And what made you want to write this book?
I just had an increasing feeling that I wanted to get started in writing.
Okay. What is your professional background?
Well, I have a degree in finance from Memphis State, and then I started out in real estate, and then I switched over to writing.
Okay. And so basically, it sounds like are you like semi-retired and just took up writing post your regular career? Is that how it kind of panned out?
Yes.
Okay. And so tell us about one of your stories. Just give us an example.
Well, the first story I wrote was Putting to Rest Mrs. Wood, which is a hilarious look at a vicious alcoholic. The stories are not in the order as written, which I pointed out in the foreword.
Mm-hmm. Each story stands on its own.
Yes.
Yeah. And so how big is the entire book?
Well, the entire book is 192 pages.
Mm-hmm. And how did you come about to choose the actual title, All Points North?
In early 2009, one publisher told me in a book of short stories to put the strongest story first, and the second strongest story second, and the third strongest at end, and use the title of the first story as the title of the book, which is what I did.
Mm-hmm. So tell us about All Points North.
Well, All Points North, that's about a big sailboat regatta in Jackson, Mississippi in late October back in the 1960s. And the way it boils down to a huge storm on Sunday morning, and then what happened after trophy presentation, and then the story was over.
Yeah, well, very interesting. And so here are 13 short stories that trace the roots of grief, anger, psychological torment, and sorrow, and shine a much-needed light on our seemingly unexplainable behavior and attitudes. So covering a lot of interesting stuff there. In the famous duck hunt, real quickly, what was that about? The duck hunt, famous duck hunt.
Well, that was about a duck hunting trip that was set back in the early 1970s when a young college student was invited with a neighbor and his father to go duck hunting in rural Arkansas.
Okay. People are going to have to read the story to get the rest of the story, it appears. All right. Shelby Lee's been our guest. He is the author of the book called All Points North, 13 Intriguing Stories. that each stand on their own, bringing different perspectives on the way we think, includes humor, some drama. And Shelby, thanks for taking time to be with us today.
Well, thank you, Kevin.
You bet. Learn more about the book, outskirtspress.com/ all points north. That's outskirtspress.com / all points north. All right, when we come back, we're going to have more for you right after this.